Hi, it's Dwyer. The day before the fight. GamblersAdvisory.com, a free site. BettingAngle.us, a free site. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, I'm absolutely shocked. I even made a video already on this fight. It's up. Amir Khan versus Brook. But I'm just one voice in the forest. I'm shocked that Brook is favored in this fight. You're getting Amir Khan here at a plus 130. Plus 130. You've got to be kidding me. Right? I don't care how good the guys looked at the weigh-in, and they looked great. Right? Understand, Brook has had eye problems in 2 different fights. Right? Fractured eye sockets in the Golovkin fight and the Errol Spence fight. Right? When you're an older fighter, you have wear and tear. He's in against a guy with a spectacular jab and hand speed. Worse yet, Amir Khan trained with Brian McIntyre, one of boxing's elite trainers, the trainer for Terence Crawford. If you go to TalkSport.com, you're going to see Crawford in the ring helping Amir Khan train. The Crawford fight against Brook, I believe, goes 4 rounds. So I expect the underdog, the plus 130, Amir Khan, to win the fight. But let's come up with a hedge. Because as I've said, these odds truly baffle me. If Brook went 4 rounds with Terence Crawford, has eye problems, takes a knee against Errol Spence. In other words, this is a guy who values his health. If he's in the ring and he's just not feeling right, there's an injury and it could get serious. Brook is a guy who's thinking about the rest of his life. How could the over-under in this fight be as high as 9.5 rounds? Somebody explain that to me. Understand, that gives you to the midway point of the 10th round. Right, folks? How many rounds did Amir Khan last with Terence Crawford? Right, both of these guys have been stopped well before the halfway point of the 10th round in non-grudge fights, in business fights. Now, you mean to tell me that you have an Ali Fraser dynamic here, right? The guys truly don't like each other. You get the feeling these aren't the guys who, when the camera goes off, they're like, hey, so what's happening? Right? These aren't those guys. These are the guys who are as pissed when the camera goes off as they are when the camera's on. You get the feeling that if Brook starts blinking and backs away because he's been hit with a stiff jab in the eye, you get the feeling that Amir Khan is going to try to step on the gas. Isn't that your takeaway? This is not going to be a polite fight where Amir Khan senses he can win it off a jab and movement and just decides he's going to win it. No. This is a statement fight, isn't it? Also, you're Brook. Didn't Brook come after Golovkin? A guy who was 2 weight classes up early in that fight? I didn't see Brook running. I saw Brook coming after Golovkin. I saw Brook coming after Errol Spence. Now, Brook has to know that from distance he has no chance in this fight. Amir Khan's hands are just too fast. Khan, let's be clear here, was fighting Canelo, I did not give Canelo a round in that fight. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. Knockouts count. Canelo won the fight. I'm not saying anyone gave him a gift. Canelo wins by stoppage. It's a brutal knockout. Right? Khan is out. This isn't a quick count fight. Khan can't blame the referee. But the bottom line is, as long as a boxing match took place right before the big punch, Khan was undressing Canelo. Now, you and I know that if that dynamic breaks out in a fight like this, a grudge match between two guys who don't like each other, in a fight that is long overdue, right? Two guys who've been talking about wanting to fight each other for years, right? You know that if Khan starts out and he wins the first round, wins the second round, wins the third round, wins the fourth round, Brook is going to be on his front foot. Punches are going to be landed. Punches are going to be thrown. No one's going to default in this fight. The other guy's going to have to win it. So let me add a caveat here. Right? I see two older guys. Both of them have stopped in the middle of fights where they were losing. Right? Brook against Errol Spence. Amir Khan against Terence Crawford. Right? Both of these guys, at a certain point, understood it's not my night. Right? Given that mindset, given the fact that there is a distinct possibility that Brook is blinking, having a problem seeing by the third round, and that Khan is simply too fast. In other words, you can't hide it. If I'm fighting a slow-footed fighter with no hand speed, and let's say in the middle of the fight I'm blinking, stuff's going across my face, looks like I broke an eye socket or maybe tore a retina, if the other guy can't move and I'm a complete daredevil, maybe I say, okay, look, I'm just going to hang in here, move away from this guy, try to win this on points. How do you do that against the guy with the hand speed of Amir Khan? Right? How? So given the history, I don't see how this fight makes it to the midway point of the 10th round. Also, look, I'm that slow guy who takes what the casino gives me. If I walk in the casino and I'm thinking, man, Amir Khan has a real chance in this fight, and then the casino gives me plus 130. And I'm thinking, whoa, I thought Amir Khan was going to win already, and he's actually the underdog in the fight? I'll be the casino's Huckleberry. So the hedge I'm recommending is Amir Khan to win, plus 130. Right? You're getting better than even money. Hedged with the under 9.5 rounds. Right? Understand that's 9 full rounds plus half of the 10th round. Folks, this fight sold out in less than 15 minutes. The crowd is gonna be hyped. The fighters are gonna be hyped. Right? Understand. Amir Khan, an Englishman, trained for this fight in Nebraska. In other words, he's so serious about this that he's, got a commitment from Brian McIntyre, Crawford's trainer. Right? This is after having fought and lost to Crawford. So Amir Khan's all in. Right? And let's just say it's not like Nebraska has the nightlife of Los Angeles or New York City. Right, so Amir Khan is all in. I believe this fight would not have happened but for Kell Brook's determination in getting this fight made. A hyped crowd, two guys who have checked out in the middle of fights. A guy with a chin that's a little bit suspect. The other guy with eyes that have been hurt in multiple fights. I don't see this fight going the distance. So I like Amir Khan to win the fight, hedged with the under 9.5 rounds. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. If you feel differently, if you have other information, I understand the two guys sparred before, of course, as in a lot of cases in boxing, both guys claim they got the better of the sparring. Right? I get it. There are differing recollections. Right? I know there are backstories here. Right? I get the fact that Kell Brook wanted to fight Khan years ago, and Khan said, no, I want to fight Mayweather or Pacquiao. Right? I get it. Let's give both men credit, though, for fighting top-shelf opposition. Right? Kell Brook has fought, think about it, Golovkin and Errol Spence. Right? Amir Khan, and of course Terence Crawford. Amir Khan's fought Crawford. Amir Khan has also fought Canelo. Right? So these guys, and Marcus Maidana. So these guys have been in with hitters. These guys have been in with tough guys. Right? These guys at one time, they're a little bit older now, but at one time, these guys were atop of the world in boxing, in their weight class. Now they have a score to settle. This is a uniquely boxing story. Right? These guys are fighting for the championship of each other. Right? The last fight like this in the UK that I could think of is George Groves against Carl Froch. Correct me on that in the comments section if other fights come to mind. Anyway, that's how I see it. Let me hear from you. I like the underdog here to win. Plus 130. Hedged with the under 9.5 rounds. But I need for everyone to understand the risk involved. If Kell Brook comes out, stops Amir Khan inside of the midway point of the 10th round, okay, great. The hedge held. Right? But if this fight lingers past the midway point of the 10th round and Kell Brook gets a stoppage or a decision, you lose it all. That's how I see it. Underdog plus 130, Amir Khan to win, hedged with the under 9.5 rounds. Let me hear from you in the comment section of this video. Thanks for stopping by.